Robert De Niro was once an incredible actor, an amazing actor, but the Trump derangement syndrome has eaten away at Robert De Niro's brain like we've never seen before. Maybe Rosie O'Donnell, right? There are a few folks, but Robert De Niro is really suffering from a severe case of TDS, and I don't think there's any coming back for him. He was on MSNBC a few days ago. He went on MSNBC, and he basically implied that Trump voters can't get the truth because they live in rural areas and they don't have good news sources out there. Let's take a look.
They're used to seeing Trump do his stuff, and they talk and they listen, and that's the truth to them because they don't listen to anything else. It's somewhere way out in the Midwest, somewhere out, out west, in certain places, the rural places. That's the truth because he gets the airtime. And I think that we need more airtime, just more push against and not. I wish that you can't do this in some ways, but that the news media could find ways to kind of ignore or tamp down nonsense from Trump. It's just total nonsense. But those people out there listen to it and assume if it can be on the air and it's out there, it's the truth.
This is another Hillary Clinton basket of deplorables type of comment. Okay, this is like when Joe Biden called half the country garbage. This is what the Democratic elites, especially the folks in Hollywood, think about a majority of the country. A majority of the country does not live in New York City, Chicago, Los Angeles. They do live in a lot of red areas. A majority of the country is rural. Okay, so to say that rural folks don't have access to the news or the internet or they can't get the truth, no, they're actually getting the truth. For you to sit on MSNBC, one of the most Democratic elite networks, and say that people can't get the truth, we need to get the truth to them. MSNBC has pushed every hoax and every lie and carried water for Joe Biden. Morning Joe. Okay, Morning Joe is probably one of the highest paid people on MSNBC. He went out there in 2024 and said Joe Biden was the quickest and sharpest he's ever been. He said he's the quickest and sharpest he's ever been. So you're sitting on MSNBC and saying that they're the ones giving the truth? MSNBC, all they do is lie. All they do is lie. They give Rachel Maddow, I think, $25–30 million a year to do one show a week and sit there and lie and gaslight the American people. All they do is platform Kamala Harris and Democrats. So no, to go out there and say Trump voters do not have access to the news because they live in rural areas. Robert De Niro, for someone who came from humble beginnings, I really think that's a disgusting, despicable comment. But his disgusting, despicable comments know no bounds. He went on to basically imply that Stephen Miller was a Nazi.
He will not. We see it. We see it. We see it we see it all the time. He will not want to leave. He set it up with his. I guess he's the Goebbels of the cabinet. Stephen Miller, he's a Nazi. Yes, he is. And he's Jewish, and he should be ashamed of himself.
So the Democrats have learned nothing. They are going to continue calling everybody in this administration Hitler, Nazi, a fascist, time and time again. And that's why we've seen this political violence and this extremism ratcheted up on the left. Okay, these political extremists on the left, who I think are domestic terrorists, they're picking up guns and trying to kill Republicans because Republicans in office have been so dehumanized by the mainstream media. Okay, and we want to tone down the rhetoric. Everyone says we need to tone down the rhetoric. What about the folks on MSNBC? Y'all just allowed one of the most famous actors to go on television and call a father and a husband and someone working in the administration a Nazi, and I didn't hear any pushback. He's a Nazi and no one even chimed in. They didn't cut to commercial. He is a Nazi. Okay, so there's going to be 1% of the population, let's say, who's crazy, who's nuts, who's mentally unwell. And they hear these folks being called Nazis and fascists and threats to democracy. And it's why we saw what happened with Charlie Kirk, who was barbarically assassinated, who was so dehumanized and called all of these names by the media. Same with President Trump, was called Nazi, fascist, Hitler for years. How many assassination attempts have we seen on his life? All right, how many assassination attempts? He's a father, husband, grandfather. So Robert De Niro, shame on you. You're disgusting. I actually can't even watch a Robert De Niro movie anymore. I can usually separate the art from the artist when it comes to music and all types of things. But there's something about Robert De Niro. I can't watch a movie. I cannot watch a Robert De Niro movie anymore knowing he's such a disgusting person. And here's the thing. I say this all the time in all my videos and all my content. You don't have to love President Trump. You don't even have to like him. You can hate President Trump. Okay, we have free speech in this country. You can vote however you want. But if you make your hatred for President Trump your entire personality, I think you're sick and you're unwell and you need help. Okay, you don't have to like him, don't have to like his policies. You can fight him on his policies. But when you go out of your way and call him a Nazi and a fascist and Hitler and everyone around him, and you make that your whole personality, you're a very small man. So Robert De Niro, you're a little beta male. We will pray for you that you find peace. Let's talk about Peak, a luxury brand transforming wellness with the absolute best, rare and precious plants, cutting-edge ingredients, and formulations rooted in traditional wisdom. Their science-backed botanicals, minerals, and supplements support sustained energy, metabolic function, immune health, and radiant skin. Peak is proud to introduce Sun Goddess Matcha, an organic ceremonial superfood blend that redefines your daily routine. Crafted from the purest tea leaves, it provides a smooth, sustained energy for a calm mind and a radiant glow. The nutrients in their matcha can help curb sugar and hunger cravings, making it easier to stick to your wellness goals, and their matcha is 100% organic. Peak picks me up when I'm feeling under the weather, especially with the seasons changing. Unlock your healthiest glow and feel the difference. Get up to 20% off for life, a complimentary gift, and explore Peak's clean, pure ingredient wellness rituals at peaklife.com/link. That's PIQUE life.com/link.